So after thinking about it, I think the best thing to do is actually to spend at least 40 minutes on each one. And then after the 40 minutes, I spend some time looking at the other people's solution and researching the stuff that I don't know, because I think that's the most valuable thing right now, instead of doing just a bunch of them. And I'm gonna have to spend a bunch of time looking at the solutions and researching stuff because I don't know what these things do. So it might take me some time to understand what people are doing. And I think just 30 minutes is not enough for me, probably to solve most of these challenges. And then the more comfortable I become with these methods, then I'm gonna spend more time on the challenges and try to only see the solutions after I manage to solve the challenge itself. And so here for this one, I think I'm gonna just copy the solution, the best solution here. And then I'm gonna move on to the next. I also found out that Chile has videos about this stuff that the people are using there on COUNTIF and Count. So I'm probably gonna watch these videos later. And I was also reading an article that says that hacker rank is probably it's different styles, but is more organized, and Codewars is more for algorithms. So I might try hacker rank in the future as well. After I do a bunch of challenges. And I also think that once I get to a decent level here, I'm gonna do the other languages, Python and JavaScript. Solidity, they only have, I think, 26 challenges, so yeah. I am learning Solidity and React off stream. So once I feel that I'm good enough with them, I'm probably gonna search for sites like this to train more. So let's try this one. I think I'm only gonna spend 40 minutes here and do what I said. Spend 40 minutes, then trying to solve it, the rest looking at the other people's solution. Create a function that takes a Roman numeral as its argument and returns its value as a numerical decimal integer. You need to validate the form of the Roman numeral. I think I did this challenge on Free Code Camp. This challenge sounds very familiar. Modern Roman numerals are written by expressing each decimal digit of the number to be encoded separately, starting with the leftmost digit and skipping any zeros. So 1990s is rendered MCMXC. 1000 equals M, 9000 equals CM, 90 equals XC. 2008 is rendered V 3 ice. 2000 equals 8 equals V. Roman numeral for is each letter in descending order. So it's pretty much transform a Roman numeral into the decimal. And I think I did this challenge, but I did it on using JavaScript, I think. It's probably one of the free code camp challenges. But it has been a long time, so I don't remember what I did. But I remember that it was tricky because you had when you go from one number to the other, it changes the letter from one, how can I say this, from one decimal to the other. And there are a couple of numbers that change the structure as well, from 1 to 10, I think. So I don't even know where to start, really. Yeah, I think up to 5, it changes. It's 1, 2, 3, like this. Then before the change, you put the symbol that is gonna come next. So this is 4, then 5, then 6 would be the same, and 7 then changes on 9, I think. 7, 8, and then 9, like this. I don't remember really well. Wait, it's the other way around. Yeah. This one is quite annoying because maybe I can search for a table of Roman numerals. And I think I'm gonna do this 2 challenges a day. I'm gonna try to do 2 challenges a day. 40 minutes each, and then 20 minutes to research and look at other people's solution. Hey Vivex, what's up, man? So I think it is the way that I was thinking about, where 9 is where it changes probably. But then from here I have all the numbers. So 4, 5. Yeah, so 9 is where it changes, and it's gonna be 1 to the left. And then it just repeats the pattern with X in front. Then it's 2X's for. So it's on the 40 that changes to L on the left, on the right. And then 50 becomes L, and then the same patterns. So it changes as after every fourth number and 10. 9 actually, because it's 1 before the 10. That's why it changes on 40. This one is very difficult. But I think the first thing that comes to my mind is to create a dictionary with the patterns, and then, but I need to understand exactly how the patterns are formed. But I think create a dictionary with the patterns, and then because they're gonna repeat themselves, just figure out a way to connect them depending on which number it is. If a smaller number comes before a larger one, it is a subtraction. I don't understand what you mean. Oh, yeah, I know that before the 5. uh, Actually, I don't know if I understand. Like, I do understand that the 9 is gonna change here. From 4th to 5 changes the letter. Then these ones are the same, right? But from what is the frequency that they change the letters? And how many letters are possible as well? I think it goes up to M, if I remember correctly. 1,000 up is M. Yeah, could just use the change when it's convenient. You could use just I if you really wanted. Yeah, I understand, but what determines the letter that's gonna be? So let's say you have 500,000. How many letters there are gonna be? Maybe if I search for a table, I think M is the highest letter that they use. Yes, here. Oh, fuck. I need to pay for it. I think M is the largest. And then after that, you just, yeah, 500,000. I think after a thousand, you just rearrange the other ones, depending on which number it is. And then 900 is probably C, I think. Uh, I don't think so. I think it would be different. Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong, but a number should be. Yeah, but I think that 500 would be written with Roman numerals as well. Not sure if it's even possible. I don't know. Let's see if they talk about. Yeah, they don't say that there's gonna be a limit to the number that they're gonna pass. Yeah, but you see here, like there's 2008, and is this pattern here. So imagine for larger numbers, it's just gonna be more letters. And because the thing is that they don't talk about what's the largest number they're gonna pass. So assume you have to write something that it will work for any number. So makes sense. Yeah. So the position it would be on the decimal, it is the thing. So maybe creating a dictionary is a start. I have to search for how to make a dictionary in C++. But I think my idea is to create a dictionary with this value. This is the table, I think, that I needed. Then you translate these numbers into these letters, and then you put them together. Yeah, but I don't know. It's kind of confusing. Maybe this chart is better. It's confusing because at these breaking points, I have to change the letters. Yeah, but yeah. But I think if I do this table here with all these letters and these numbers, it might be enough. But then you have to loop to the dictionary and see, maybe divide the number that they give and see if the remainder is zero. If it's zero, then apply some of this. I don't know. No, you're given yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, you are given the letters and you're parsing to the number. Oh, so it's the other way around. Yeah, you're right. Didn't realize that. So maybe I have to loop through the string they're giving and then check which is the value. Yeah, that's a lot easier actually than do it the other way around. So let me write. I'm trying to think about the other methods that people used on the previous challenges to see if maybe I can try to implement some of them. But I don't think it's gonna be relevant here. I think just looping is the best, probably. Oh, yeah, I can then do case statements. And just like you said, then you add everything. Because you have each letter is equal to just something, to a number. Yeah, I create a variable, int count equals 0. Then I loop through the string, then I do a switch. And what would be the condition? The condition would be the character, I think. I think this challenge is very similar to a challenge they do on Free Code Camp. But I think on Free Code Camp is probably the other way around. If a letter is followed by a letter that is bigger, then it becomes negative. So, oh, so if the letter is on, oh, that makes more challenging actually. Yeah, because here it wouldn't be 4 plus 5 plus 1. It would be 4 minus 5 minus 1, which is 4. So when the letter is on the left, but then how do you know when it should stop? You need to know the hierarchy, right? Like if there is a smaller letter in the left than the one that is in the right, then you subtract. And it's only one, right? If you have two letters, you can't have this, for example. As far as I understand. So you're just comparing by 1 degree. And when it's looping from left to right, I think. The thing is, I want to force myself to use something else than a for loop. Maybe I can try to use this another map here. Yeah, I also don't think so. I think it's only when it's changing the letter that it does that for one number. The key value is generally used to uniquely identify the element, while the mapped value is an object if the content associated to this key. Types of key and mapped value may differ. Or maybe I should just do with the loop and then see if I have time to try to change it, because otherwise I might spend a bunch of time and not solve it. And so far I've been doing the size T maybe. I've been doing the size like this. If you know any way that is better, let me know. I think it's plus equals here. Bigger or equal. So 0 row size is the length of the string, then plus plus. So here I think C++ has switch, if I remember. Row size. Oh, but then no, it's Roman I. Then I can put case M. Then do something. Or maybe it's better to do this outside actually. Outside of the switch statement. Or do two switches because of the comparison thing that you talked about, that I have to know the previous one as well. Usually I is on the left side. Because while I is less than the length. Oh, you talk about here? Yeah, I don't think that matters that much. I'm talking more about this because when I put just Roman.size here, sometimes it didn't work in the past. So now I'm putting as a variable here and then putting it here. But I'm not sure if there's a better way to calculate the length of the string here. So I can put it here. I can try to put it like this here and see if it works, but I remember failing some tests because of that. Not really sure. I think it's something to do with the way that the variable is stored. Oh yeah, I was gonna read this thing here. That in C++, apparently strings are arrays of characters in memory, by convention terminated by a null character. Usually they are referenced via char pointing to the first letter in the string. And that's why on the last challenge it was a char pointer as an argument, even though they are passing a string. Because C++ stores strings in arrays of chars, of pointing chars, I think. And I think that might be the reason why this gives a problem, but I'm not sure. So here I'm trying to think if there is a way to get the values of the letters without, maybe I can do it with string, or I can create a char here, a bunch of chars for the letters, or even an array, another array, or a dictionary. And maybe I should search for that. Yeah, it's map. So another map is dictionary also. Mm. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna use this here. And I can do this outside of here. And then just write the... The problem is I think the keys have to be like this, but I'm gonna try to do it like this. So what is the other one? V is 5. Let me look at the table. I5x. Then L is 50. Then C is 100. Why is this comma here? I don't understand. $100. D is 500. And then 1,000. No. What? I think I skipped. No. Oh, it's right. C is 100. D is 500. And 1,000 is M. Oh. Yeah, so now I have the values of each one in this dictionary. And I think I can access based on the value. So now I need to think about... I have to compare to see if the left one is smaller than the one in the right. But it's gonna go from left to right. So whenever the number I is smaller than I plus 1, you subtract. But for this, I think it's better to do if statements. Or maybe I can put on the inside the case here. Smaller than a Roman I plus 1. Then I can do another variable. No, I can just call it int result is equal to Roman I Roman plus 1 minus I. I think that's correct. So yeah, this is the smaller, this is the bigger. And then I can do count plus equals results. But now I'm not sure if I should do break or not. Oh, it's not Roman I, that's the problem. It's map 1 that I need to get. Yeah. So how do I compare the map? The values with the index. Or maybe I can do it in here, actually. Or I can do it up here. I'm gonna access the dictionary based on the which character I and I plus 1 are. And I think I can make just bigger, because then I'm not gonna be, when I do I plus 1, it's not gonna break the thing, I think. Your map's not supposed to be accessed that way. It is indexed by keys, not by positions. Map iterator is bidirectional, just like a list. So the function you're using is no more inefficient than accessing a list by position. If you want random access by position, then use a vector or DQ. Maybe I shouldn't be using a map then. I think I know how to solve the problem now, but I just want to try to force myself to try to implement these other things that I'm not familiar with, because then I can learn more. If you want random access by position, then use a vector or DQ. Your function could be written with help from standards, advanced, iter, index, starting from begin. Maybe implementation specific, no portable method to achieve your goal, but not one that is portable. Standard map is implemented as a type of binary tree, usually sorted by key. The definition of the first element differs depending on the ordering. Also, in your definition, element 0, the node at the top. Based on both standard vector and standard map, allocate the object from dynamic memory. Store the pointer along with the key into the standard map. Store the pointer in the standard vector at the position you want it. Standard map will allow an efficient method to access the object by key. Standard vector will allow an efficient method to access the object by index. Storing pointers allows for only one instance of the object instead of having to maintain multiple copies. So if I'm not mistaken, I think I'm using the right one, probably. Because I want to access by key, which are the numbers. Maybe I should have done differently as well. Put the letters in the left and the numbers on the right. And vectors more for accessing by index, because it's similar to a list. So if the easiest way is to access by the key, I think I might have to change the letters for the numbers there. So so I can access through using the Roman I thing to get the value. String indexing C++ is zero based. You need to index strings. The first character has index 0, so index strings. Yeah, I don't think that's what I want. I also think I forgot to put the standard here. Standard map. Change the signature of function or the map.find. They don't say if it's the key or the value. But maybe I should use this map.find thing. We'll do it like this to find the value. Let's assume this is the value. I'll have to do value 1 and then map.find Roman I plus 1 to find the next letter. And then instead of using these ones, I would use if value is smaller than value 1, then I do value 1 minus value. Let me run this and see what happens. Requires template arguments. So maybe it is the string thing. The issue is I don't wanna. Oh, actually, I put the wrong name. Yeah, it's map 1, not map. But I'm pretty sure I should change this and put the letters in the left and the values on the right. Interesting map. Isso não quer para cons. Yeah, so it's saying that it's trying to compare. So I think I'm gonna do that. Because finding the value. But I might have to find the value anyway, I think. Later on, but I think it's just easier to change here. At least to see if what I'm thinking might work. So now let's test again. Oh no, it doesn't work. So I can put strings in as the key. Maybe. For initializing. Yeah, so I'll have to figure out how to find the key based on the value. Because I don't think it allows me to initialize a map as with strings as keys. So I think I'm gonna search this. The timer is done, but I'm gonna search this and then see if it works there or not. I think I can just use an if statement if I get the value. Like if the value equals the key. Obviously that's more code, but I think it should work. Oh, here is initializing with strings as the first argument. Oh, it's because of the way that I did this. Oh, I'm so dumb. See if I can. Oh, I can't do that. It's because I put int here and then string. Yeah, so I can do it the other way around. But it still is an interesting question to see how to get the value because it's probably very useful. At least in the other languages it is. I think if this, I'm just gonna see if it works and then I'm gonna look at the solution from other people. So here I'm gonna put string and here I'm gonna put int. Oh, and here is using namespace, so I probably don't need to use this. Should probably do this as well. No matching the member function for call to find. Hmm. I think I have all the letters here. Maybe it's because this is a character. Yeah, but I don't think that's the problem. Yeah, maybe it is the problem actually. Okay, charge your const. So there was a method to change the character to string. I wonder if I can, maybe if I put a pointer here, it changes something. Or maybe if I do char here instead. Yeah, that's probably better than putting the pointer here. No, but now it's not a char. So how do I initialize a char as a string? So I think I'm gonna read this and then I can close this window. But it seems like you understand what C-style strings are, but to summarize, they are just arrays of characters in memory. When convention terminated by no character. Usually they are referenced via char pointing to the first letter in the string. When they are printed, typically the characters of the string are printed starting from the first. And printing or copying, etc. stops when the terminator is reached. A standard string is a class that typically wraps a C-style string. This means that a standard string object typically has a private C-style string that is used to implement its functionality. The function standard string C-string returns a pointer to this underlying C-style string. Let's suppose that char pointer string points to a C-style string. If you attempt to run count string and line, you notice that only the first character is printed. That is because of C++ function overloading. Data type of string is char, so the char version of count is called and faithfully prints the single character string. For compatibility with C-style strings, the version of count that takes a char as an argument treats the pointer as a C-style string for printing purposes. If you count as int, for example, the underlying int will not be printed. The reason that your attempt to dereference an standard string object fails that indeed it is not a pointer. You could dereference the return value of standard string C string and you would get back the first char of the string. I think I kind of get it, but if I put string here, it's probably not gonna char string because it just puts into a variable. I'm not sure if that's possible. Yeah, I can't put the name here. I think that's impossible actually. Because the problem is if I put it outside of this, I think it's gonna break. Not sure if it's gonna work. Maybe it does work. Yeah, because I'm not initializing these things. So I'm not even sure if it's possible. Literals are const char? What do you mean? Do you mean these letters here? I think if you are referring to this, then I know. String literals are const char. But is screaming at me that I can't use the const char here because I think this is a const char as well. And I can't use on this map1.find. So I'm not sure. Maybe I'm looking at the problem in the wrong way, possibly. Yeah, because before this I had string here. I didn't have char. And it was failing. Or maybe you're talking about putting const char here. Like this. Oh, so now it disappeared from here. Hmm. I don't understand why though. It's kind of weird. Like why does it have to be const? It's hard to think about these concepts because I think maybe I kind of get it because it's probably storing on memory, like you said, on the Stack Overflow thing, that it becomes an array with the pointer to the memory. But read-only memory. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But then I'm not really sure if I understand how the other types work. So probably they are dynamic memory, stored in dynamic memory. And that's why they can change value later. That's probably the difference. I have to study more about that. To me, that's the most difficult part of C++ so far. Understanding these things. Not understanding necessarily, but especially when you use them. And to connect the letters to the numbers in memory, to think about how the computer is using things. That's very difficult. Yeah, so now it's complaining that it isn't matching. But I don't understand why, because I put all the letters there that are supposed to be. I think if I count, it's not gonna show me anything. And this is supposed to be const char as well, I think. The letter of the string that is gonna be passed here. And it doesn't show anything. So candidate function not viable, no known conversion from locked rates to const standard map. So it's saying that I can't convert from char to map const char. As the key, use a char or use a standard string as the key in the map for a quick fix. Here? So just char here? Let's... Any idea why is that? Yeah, but this is the problem though, is the stuff that maybe if I do const char, it's the stuff that you're saying about memory. It should be char literal, so I, etc. This one, like this? I don't understand. I can make this lowercase, actually, and then do it like that, but I'm not sure if that's what you mean. Oh, so only one, like this. Only one string. I didn't know it made a difference to put one or two. Single quotes is for char literal, typed as char. For string, oh, that's very useful to know, man. Thank you. Because, yeah. I remember reading something about this, but I forgot. I thought it was for something else, that there was a difference in some cases, but double quotes is for string literals typed as const char pointer. Yeah, I guess it can be both for strings and for const char pointer because of the way that the memory works when you're using pointers. Okay, so at least it seems like it solved some things. So we can't convert const char to int. Int value. So this is the problem. But what is this returning me? It's probably returning one of this. It's not what I want. Comparison of different integers of different signs. Unsigned long and int. So maybe if I do u here and oops, u, it's returning a map iterator. Ah. So yeah, there's probably a method to convert that into the number. But I think it's supposed to return the number, right? If I convert. Because I've seen in Python it works like this as well when you use a filter or a list. Yeah, a filter actually. It returns a filter object instead of, and then if you convert to a list, then it returns the stuff that you want. So I assume it works in a similar way here where there might be a method to convert from the iterator to the number itself. Or I can maybe try to initialize here as a number, and that will do the conversion, but I think that's probably gonna fail. Oh, so if I do this, or outside the thing. So the arrow is the reference, correct? And I guess second is probably a keyword for maps. Maybe is the index here is indicating which one. So this is probably first and this is second. Or that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so this works. Nice. Now is all figuring out the other stuff here. Let me open the link you sent me. I think I'm gonna look at the solution for this because I already passed way past the time. But I really appreciate the help, man. It's coming from other languages. This referencing things is the thing that I'm the least used to, because it's the least similar from other ones. Both the arrow, the and sign to referencing the pointer is definitely the hardest thing to understand. And initializing types, all this stuff. So key t compare allocator finds an element with key equivalent to key. Finds an element with key that compares equivalent to the value x. This overload participates in overload resolution only if the qualified ID is valid and denotes a type. It allows calling this function without constructing an instance of key. Parameter is key value of the elements to search for x, a value of any type that can be transparently compared with a key. So in this case, I'm passing the key because I'm not passing the second value, I think. Decide as reference when you forget the types of things. You don't need to read all the details. Take you years to understand all of it. Hopefully I can do it in a shorter time frame. I think it's just a matter of practice. But yeah, probably to become very good at it, then it does take years. The difficult thing is not even understanding, is knowing when to apply it. That's the problem. Because that's the most thing, because there isn't a clear way to train this. Even if I solve these problems, that's why I'm forcing myself to do it like this. Because I would definitely not do it this way. I would do it with a simple loop here. And then I would probably figure out a way, easier way to do it in my way, but it would definitely not be the best way to do it. So this is the toughest part, is knowing when to apply these things. And usually I have trouble reading these descriptions here because it's a little bit confusing for me. The way that they explain it. I usually understand it better by reading people talk about on Stack Overflow. But this is also useful, obviously. I think I'm gonna look at the solution now. See how people did this. So first, let me think about what I would do here if I manage to make this work, just the mock code part of it. Oh, there's also a problem here in this Roman size, which is the other thing that I was talking about before. If this it disappears. No, still. Size T. Yeah, so maybe if I do so maybe int. Doesn't do what I think. You mean in this condition here? Or in the case, or both? I'm also not very used to using switch. I usually do if else statements. Mm. So I can't put an operation here. Yeah, because it's comparing this with this, right? So I would have to make Roman I equals to something here. To be literals. Mm. And it's because of the case that I put here, right? So maybe switch is not the best for this specific case because I think what I had in mind is figure out the values depending on the key, depending on the letter that I get, and then make a condition if the value on the left is bigger. No, if the value on the left is smaller than the value on the right, you subtract to find the number. And if it's bigger, then you just keep summing to this variable here. And then I would store all the sum of all the values into this variable and return this variable in the end. I think that was my idea. And with an if statement, I would probably do if this value is smaller than this, then result equals this. Then if this value is this value is bigger, then I do the other operation that I talked about and I keep summing until I reach all the letters. Yeah, but I was trying to use switch just because I don't use switch often. I'm just trying to force myself to do things that I don't usually do. So I try to see if I can use things that I'm not used to doing. You know? Even this map thing here. Because otherwise I just keep going back to the stuff that I always do and I never improve. That's the problem. And I could do it like this, I think. And then I could do else if value bigger than value 1. Then I do int result equals value 1 plus value count plus equals result. And maybe this works, but I'm not sure. Replace the map. At least it doesn't break anything. It's just giving me the wrong value. I think what's probably happening here is that this map is not finding the values here correctly. So, or is a problem with the loop, maybe? Yeah, that was what I was thinking about in the beginning. That's why I thought about using switch as well. that you can use switch and then compare the letters, and then for each case of each letter you get the value, right? But then the issue was that I had to compare the two values, so I didn't know how to do that. I guess I could put Roman I plus 1 in another variable and then use that to compare inside of the switch. Yeah. It's because I was thinking about doing that, and in the middle of it, I started thinking about this, and then I think I got confused. Do you have any idea why this is not working? I feel like I'm very close to finishing it. Because this probably would work, I think, if I was getting the correct values. I assume the problem is here, where for some reason, maybe I don't understand what this Roman I is gonna give me. I think it's gonna give me the letter, and then the map.find is gonna give me the value associated with the letter in this map here. But I'm not sure. And it's not throwing any mistakes, so it means that I'm getting an integer. And value equals value 1. Yeah, you're right. Oh, I can just do actually bigger or equal because the equal is gonna be the same, but I think there's something else wrong here. Yeah, because I'm getting 0. I should be at least getting a number, I think. Especially on this one. Because I'm trying to put them on this variable here. The goal is to take you get this string and then you have to transform into a number. And then I'm trying to map which character is equal to each value here. And then I'm summing these values to find the final one. So here, for example, I want to get this one and return 1. For this, because the I is on the left, I make v, which is 5, minus I, which is 1, and get 4. Count plus equals value. Oh, I see. So maybe here. Yeah. Value is the one. Is the one being. But for some reason, I still think that. Oh, actually, I can erase this, right? I can just make value here. I still think that is gonna fail for some reason. Yeah. The thing is, it has to be the character because otherwise I would be getting a number when there's only 1 here. So the problem has to be this thing. Maybe I can print. I'm not sure if it's gonna work, but usually when it doesn't bug, it works. When it doesn't break. Oh, so it's giving me binary. Ah. Oh, so maybe this is the address in the memory? That's why? Value 1 isn't guaranteed. I think this expression returns the memory, maybe, where the thing is stored because of the pointer there. Yeah. Just a sec. Right back. The issue here is that if I take this thing off, I think it's gonna fail like it was failing before. Yeah, it doesn't work. In case I, what is value 1? It doesn't exist. Maybe I should put an if statement before. But the thing is, why isn't breaking if it was a problem? Yeah. I think that's a problem, but I also think there is a deeper problem with which is this thing here. Because this is returning the address in memory, and I don't think I can do the operations that I want to do here with the address. Unless this is the number in binary of this number in binary instead of the address. But then I still have to convert the binary number into the decimal one. And maybe you should check if there is only one letter, I can do the if outside of the for loop and just do the count equals value. It's just an undefined value. But why is value printing a number as well? Because value is supposed to always exist, and it's giving me this. And here is one. Unless I'm seeing the... Hey, it has to be... The count here has to be this, right? Because if I erase this, it's not gonna show me anything. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure the count is that... this binary value here. The value is this binary value, not the count. So I think... And I think this is happening because of the arrow here. Maybe if I... Let me print second and see. Yeah, but then... I don't know what this second is. It's probably the map property. Oh. Oh man. That's so dumb. But still. Oh, it's because this is from this, right? Ah. That's value 1 now. But this is... Because why isn't... Let me do the if outside of here. So... If row size equals 1, then I do... Zero. Actually, I can do count here. Count equals this. Oh, and here I have to return count. So dumb. That's why it's failing there. And then else I do for that. I do the for loop. Now let's pray. Okay, I'm getting a number now at least. So I passed one and then failed the rest. No, so it's failing this one. And it's probably because I'm doing these values in the wrong order. Let's see. No. So here's probably getting 4 and then it's summing with 5. That's the problem. Because when it catches the second one, hmm. Oh, so maybe I can do I plus 1 here. Because then it's gonna pass the size. Maybe that works. Because then I'm gonna count this as one thing. Yay, there we go. Nice. Let's go. Thank you so much, man. It wouldn't be I wouldn't be able to do it. Maybe I would, but it would take me more time. I'll probably look at the solution if it didn't help. So yeah, thanks. I think I'm probably gonna watch more videos actually about this, referencing things and pointers, because I I have a rough. I watched a bunch of videos about them already, and I know some. Like I kind of know them, but still don't really fully integrate it, especially when it comes to using here, how they actually works, how it's connected, how the things are connected in memory, and how they're being allocated differently depending on which method you're using. I need to understand that a lot more. So let's see. Oh, so this person did the same thing that I did in the first thing. Char. No, so they did a different if statement here. Solution. Oh, so that's the whole function. Oh, so they just accessed using this operator here. This auto I also see a lot, and I'm still not very familiar with. I probably should look it up later. So it's making the current equals number A, which assumes is the value based on this string of this Roman string here. And then summing this to the results. If current bigger than load. So it's pretty much the same thing that I did, I think. But in a slightly different way. Which is looks cleaner as well. Oh, this person used the switch. Yeah, okay, so I think I'm done. I'm probably gonna do this more tomorrow. And yeah, I think, yeah, I saw this. And I'm gonna study this stuff off stream and watch these videos here. So, see ya.